Welcome to New Goals for New Ag, a content partnership with Verdesian on Brownfield. I'm anchor reporter Meghan Grebner. Today, we have an opportunity to talk with Verdesian's new CEO, Clare Doyle. Clare, thank you for taking some time to join us today.
Thank you, Meghan, and thank you for having me.
So as you've gotten started and gotten into everything, what has been your impression so far about both Verdesian Life Sciences, its customers in the nutrient use efficiency space?
I would say the number one thing are sort of the people. I've had a chance to meet with some of our sales team, meet with some of our customers and our retail partners, and just really impressed with the commitment of the people, the passion that they have for the industry and for change, and the sort of their tenure, their unbelievable roots. It's not just them and these roles that they hold today, but it's their families and their family legacies. And it's everything that they not only do today, but sort of where they came from. And so really, really impressed by that. And it just shows you the commitment is not something fleeting for them, but it's something that's really, let's call it genuine and unique about this industry. So really very impressed.
Claire, as you've traveled around and met with Verdesian employees and customers as well, what are some of the common traits or words, that theme that you keep hearing?
It's the passion for change, the passion for doing the right thing, the passion for the products that Verdesian has, but also the impact that it has on the environment, not just today and not just for crop yield, but if you think about it for sustainability in the long run, the impact on water quality, on air quality, and soil health in general. And those are the things that people talk about. It's sort of the products that we're selling or the things that we're sort of pushing, if you would, are secondary to the benefits that it holds for people. That's sort of like the number one thing that comes through loud and clear.
What are some of the opportunities that you have seen with respect to the products and then the technologies as well that Verdesian offers?
So Verdesian offers a whole wide range of products, and it's everything from biofertilizers to stress mitigation products, to soil amendments. And so it's this wide range of products that are trying to do sort of a couple core things, and one of which is improve the yields for the growers, improve the yields so that they're able to do more than they have in the past and do it in a more sustainable way. And then also do more for soil health in general. I mean, those are sort of the things that we've got in our portfolio and we continue to invest in. And I think it's exciting when we think about where we're going. So many industries talk about trying to do less harm or do less evil things or mitigate their carbon footprint. Growers and our industry in general is all about, at its core and at its foundation, about doing good for the environment. And those kind of things and being able to support that going forward is really very exciting.
Claire, you've experience in sustainability. Can you talk a little bit about your background and how that came to be with Verdesian?
Sure. So prior to joining Verdesian, I worked with Masonite. Masonite is a manufacturer of interior and entry doors. It's a global business. I had run a couple of their business units in North America and then worked in Europe for a little over 3 years. When I came back to the US, I came back into the role of Chief Sustainability Officer. And so I came to that role from a P&L perspective. And so thinking about sustainability, thinking about the future, but bringing a P&L perspective is a little bit different than perhaps other people's backgrounds, where they're coming from a nonprofit perspective or an environmental science perspective. And so my vision or my approach was actually rooted in business, running a business, and thinking about how it's not just the doing good that you're trying to do, but doing good and doing well for the business at the same time. And those two goals are not at odds with each other. They are very much aligned. So when you think about sustainability goals, the breadth of it is also much, much broader than just the environment. You think about it, it's health and safety for your employees, making sure that all of your employees go home at the end of the day and just as great shape as when they walk in the door in the morning. It's also around diversity, equity, and inclusion, doing the right things for all of your employees. And it's about governance, good governance. Masonite was a public company, and the concept of governance was keenly important to them, and it's important to all public companies. So that sort of foundation of what I did at Masonite was actually a natural step when you think about coming to Verdesian. So you're thinking about different ownership structure, but still has the same kind of opportunities that were present in a large company and a smaller company. In what was present in a building and construction industry is actually very present in the agricultural industry as well. So we want our employees to go home safely. We want everyone to have an opportunity to be successful at work. And we want to make sure that we've got good governance practices in place so that the company that we know, trust, and value of Verdesian is the same company that's seen on the outside as well to our customers and to our channel partners.
When we talk about that sustainability element, why is it so important when it comes to the agriculture sector in this industry?
You think about it, agriculture is the original sustainable business. If you think about everything that is done in agriculture from way back when, those are actually the original agricultural practices. If you think about it, were the original regenerative agricultural practices. I mean, what was old is new again, right? So if think about what growers had done many, many years ago is where we're trying to get back to in some sense today, in terms of less harm on the water supply, less synthetic materials into our soil, and to regenerate and renew the soil health. Farmers, growers are also by its nature, the agriculture industry by its nature is also removing carbon from the environment. That's what that's what our business, that's what our industry does. And that's so needed when we think about going forward in terms of reaching carbon reduction targets. You can't do that. You can't reach a 50% reduction by 2030 or a net zero by 2050 without taking carbon out of the air. That has to happen. And so the agricultural industry is foundational to doing that. So we're never going to get to where we want to go without our industry, without this industry's help and support.
What are some of the other areas of focus you have in terms and when it comes to corporate responsibility from that standpoint?
So when we think about corporate responsibility, we think about a couple of different things. Corporate social responsibility, which is enabling your employees to do good in their communities, to give back to your communities. We are present in a number of different areas across the US and even across the globe. And it's not just that we are a good corporate citizen and doing good things, but we need to partner with the communities. Verdesian offers its employees the ability to take work time and volunteer in their communities and give back. When we think about how we engage with the communities in which our plants operate, we need to make sure that we're a good partner, but we're also participating in those corporate and social activities that support the community. And then you also think about governance. And governance is sort of the way that you run your business, the way that you are transparent about what's happening to the outside world if you're a public company, but also to your employees if you're a private company like Verdesian. So we are taking steps and have taken steps to make sure that we've got good transparency across the organization. We've got good empowerment for all employees across the organization. And one of the things that we are doing is, again, emphasizing safety, and not just safety in the corporate perspective or the business perspective, but making sure our employees take home safety and that they practice and then communicate safety tips for their families and their friends and their neighbors. Simple things like the time is changing, or the time that the clock has changed. It's getting darker early. So make sure you're prepared for that. It's adjust your body takes some time to adjust. You could be more tired. Just be more aware of that. Everything from that to, okay, it's Thanksgiving's coming up. If you're going to fry your turkey, make sure your turkey fryer is a little bit further away from the house, and certainly not on a wooden deck. So all those kinds of things, when you think about safety from a corporate and a corporate perspective, it's always usually in the business context, but what we're trying to do is make sure employees are able to take that home and push that safety message into their families and communities.
Balance is wonderful, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Claire, as we wrap up, what excites you the most about what Verdesian is doing?
The possibilities. That is like the number one thing. If I think about where we're present in North America and where we're present globally, there's so much upside potential, so much more that we could give, so much more that we could, so many more customers that we could impact with our products and our technologies. Very excited about that. Also very excited about our research portfolio and our pipeline of new and novel materials that will be coming out very soon. Things that customers are asking for, things that we're trying to anticipate, and things that will be revolutionary. And those things are just very, very exciting. So very happy to be part of this.
Claire, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Megan.
Clare Doyle, Verdesian's new CEO. I'm Meghan Grebner with New Goals for New Ag, a content partnership with Verdesian on Brownfield.